All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to the city of Tucson and the county of Pima. Listen up. We are here at the Fresh Start Show on 106 The Groove. 7:30. We always here every Saturday morning. So we are so thankful for all of us and all of you to be with us on this Saturday morning. And we are excited. I think I'm on a roll. I usually always miss so many shows. So I'm getting to be back to back, getting back into the studio. But good to see everybody. So much to be thankful for, so much to be grateful for. If you're alive and the blood's still running warm in your vein, you should be thankful on this Saturday morning. Listen, so much to cover on this episode. Looking for another great episode. Listen, our fundraiser is coming up, and we are excited for September 20th. We're going to be at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church on September 20th. The brunch is going to be from 11:30 to 1 p.m. So come out. We're looking for all of our sponsors, all our supporters to come out as we raise funds to make a difference and make an impact into the city of Tucson. Our mission is to help justice impacted individuals, to help people who have been formerly incarcerated. That's where we get the name Fresh Start from, where we believe that everyone deserves a new beginning. So come on out. We are excited for you. The cost for individuals, $35. If you want to get a table and to sponsor 8, $250. You can scan our QR code. You can go to our website. You can start sending in those funds now. So let's go. Let's start it. Let's get going. Let's raise these funds. Let's help our brothers and sisters who's coming out of prison. So we're excited. So I just landed our keynote speaker. So our keynote speaker for the Fresh Start fundraiser on September 20th will be the Honorable Judge Ron Wilson, the former presiding judge of South Tucson's City Courts. So come on out. He said he is elated and honored and humbled to do this for us. So we have a fantastic speaker that's sat on the bench, who's a lawyer, who's seen the ups and downs of the justice system, the marginalized communities, all of that and some. So again, the Honorable Judge Ron Wilson will be our keynote for the fundraiser on September 20th. So we got a great treat for you. So come on out. Let's raise some money. Let's make this thing happen. Also on October 18th, where it all goes down at the Tucson TCC.
Come on.
At the Fresh Start Expo from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we're asking if you have any things on Superior Courts that you want to be working on. We want you to start getting that paperwork. Start getting the certificates of absolute discharge. Start getting that paperwork going, because the day of the event is where we want to be processing your stuff, not prepping your stuff.
That's right.
So I think a lot of times people get that mixed up. We're not the prep on day of. We're here to process it and get you your rights back restored day of. So you want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence, taking advantage of some of the clinics that's out there, reaching out to Andy Silverman and his group, making sure that you can start getting processed, so we can start helping you to get your things together. So listen, all of our courts will be there. Everybody know Fresh Start. You know, we have the mobile courts. We have the courts, the judges. We have the attorneys. We're going to be there to help you to get a fresh start. And that's what it's all about. And that's what our radio show is about, is having a platform to speak into these spaces about justice impacted people who have been formerly incarcerated. Public safety is not just about putting police on the street. Real public safety is about shifting the mindsets of people who've been justice impacted, so that we don't impact recidivism in a negative way.
There you go.
Which means people going back to prison when they shouldn't be going back.
That's right.
I'd rather for people to stay in their communities. I'd rather for people to stay at home with their families than to be locked up in prison. So listen, I'm not going to take too much of your time. We have a very special guest with us, and I'm going to have Tom, our co-host, to introduce him.
Yeah, today we have Esteban Flores coming on. He's running for the Legislative District 21 And we have a special election. So let me talk about that first. That's going to be July 15th. That's not your vote, right?
No,
Yours
it's
is in no
26th.
right. Yours is the 26th. The 15th is a special election for Congressional District 7. Right? Correct? Yeah. So Esteban is coming on the show. He's running for the Legislative District 21, which, wow, it covers a whole lot of territory here in Pima County and beyond. And he's trying to make some changes. I'm going to have him jump in, introduce himself, tell us what he's running for, and give us the 3 points that he did earlier, telling us what is most important to him in this election. Come on in, Esteban.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Mr. Cortese. Thank you, guys. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Holt. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It's an honor to be with you guys on this show. And some of you guys know that are listening, we ran for the TUSD Governing Board of Education last year. And I want to say a special thank you to the over 60,000 Tucsonans who supported us. And for the same reasons that we ran for TUSD last year, we're running for this district. And it's all about our children, it's about our families. We ran to help improve education. And we want to do the same thing here as well in Legislative District 21, as well as improve the economic situation that we have going on right now. In LD 21, right now, we have families that are in poverty, which is more than double the national average. In this district, we have it's the second highest in unemployment in the whole in the state. For this district, it is in the top 10 for the largest population, yet it's doing one of the poorest in the state, and it has been for quite some time. We have, part of the reason why is the housing situation. We have a housing crisis right now that's going on. A lot of people have been asking why we have such homelessness, and it's because the rise in rent prices has gone up in 2024 to over $14.50 per month. And if you have somebody who's working minimum wage $14.35 right now, working in a restaurant or working in retail, they're struggling. Over half of their rent, half of their income is going to pay for rent just to live. We got to fix this in this district. I have some policies in place, and I would like to draft legislation to help improve your economy and help improve the economy for not just for you, but for your children and your posterity. We ran last year in the TSD Governing Board. One of the things we wanted to do was decrease your property taxes, just to kind of give people a boost. That's one of the small things we could do in the Governing Board of Education, is to decrease property taxes. A lot of hurting families, and has been since 2020. And ultimately, the true test, and you guys know this, Jesus said that you will know a tree by its fruit. The ultimate fruit of any politician, any representative, is not in how many elections you win, but in how well are your people doing. How well are they doing right now? And in this district, it's been really hard on a lot of families, and it has been for quite some time. And that is why I'm jumping in, because I'm tired of seeing so many people hurting and struggling economically. My generation's having a hard time finding a house. Even Gen Z, it's almost impossible to be able to thrive and survive. And we want to make the American dream attainable again.
Wow. In his district, bro, they have like over 30% of the ex-felons in his district. It's a huge district. It's from like Broadway to Mexico,
Yeah.
you know, and way east, way west. It's a big district, and everything he's talking about, the education, the crime, the homelessness, they're all the pipelines to prison that we are constantly talking about.
Yeah.
And 30% are actually of families are on SNAP, on food stamps, and it's been like that for a long time in that district. Nothing's been changing. People have gotten tired of it. On the south side where I grew up on 12th and Drexel. A lot of people, not just my family, a lot of people down there, they're saying it's getting worse. We're tired of it, and it seems like nobody cares.
Well, this is the concern now that this new quote-unquote beautiful bill has been passed, where millions upon millions are going to be cut from those services. The SNAPs, known as food stamps, Medicaid, many millions of people. Also, special needs kids who need Medicaid and that don't qualify for a lot of the traditional insurances. I think what people are looking for is where getting politics to make sense again. I hear Representative Make America Great Again. Let's make politics and let's make policy make sense again. We just have better streets when people can have affordability to housing, right?
Exactly.
So we got uppity people that's like, well, I don't want these kind of folks on my corner and got tents everywhere.
Right.
Where how long do you keep ignoring allowing landlords to literally be lords
Right.
Yeah.
and have unlimited restrictions on a cap on rent? I mean, like, it makes no sense. We're turning into California and New York
Right.
if we don't continue to start looking at some of those things. Like, I want people to be able to have affordability to put food on their table. Right now, you got to
Exactly.
work 3 jobs, and you got people working 2 jobs and doing Uber and Lyft, working 2 jobs. I mean, that's almost like
Yeah.
the norm. It's
Yeah.
like,
And
I'm
still
getting 2
ain't making
hours of
Yeah.
sleep
And still ain't making it.
and still not being able to
Yeah.
make it. And people are just ignoring some of the real issues. And I think that our issues now is really almost beginning to be a devastating American issue, regardless of what
Right.
political party you are.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that is why we need to support organizations like the Gospel Rescue Mission
Yeah.
and Salvation Army. And I would like to draft a legislative bill to be able to support and remove these barriers that they have to go through because they're not from the government, because they're independent organizations. There's these barriers that they get put on. I was talking to a former director there, and they said that some of their housing got removed because it wasn't connected to the county and things like that. And so things like that, this red tape, it's got to get cut, be able to help and help with the situation economically. We were talking earlier, I used to serve in the Gospel Rescue Mission, and I've seen a lot of lives changed in this ministry. People who are on homeless level, the highest level of lockdown you have, doing 25 years and got out. And we're in a mobile kitchen together, and we're serving burgers outside of the prison. and these guys would tell me, they're like, we were just at this prison, and now we're outside of it and investing in our community. And so I really feel like we need to remove barriers, red tape that and that's hurting not just those organizations, those wonderful organizations, but small businesses as well, so that people can be able to have that. Make that American dream attainable.
Wow.
There's a whole lot of restrictions on ex-felons, and what we're always talking about, the Work Innovation Opportunity Act, where it's $10,000 to a disenfranchised individual to get vocational training, to get an education so they can move forward in life and in a job that has a sustainable wage. And that's the major difference, because somebody making minimum wage and living in an apartment, they're eating snack ramen right now.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Wow.
That's so much. And then, that I think, in my line of work, the neuroscience and neurobiology response is, if you just keep communities in hypervigilance and keep communities in fight or flight, crime is going to be high, right? So, like, hey, I got to go hustle, whatever that looks.
Right.
I might even have to shoot somebody just to be able to be. When we have unresolved trauma and poverty, most definitely violence, exposures to those things opens that door. It keeps communities, marginalized communities of
Revolving.
color, indigenous.
Yeah.
It's in this
Yeah,
vicious state of
Yeah.
a circle and cycle that's hard to break. And then, let's be honest, criminal justice is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Sure
And
it is.
if you add for-profit prisons to that,
Yeah, come on.
to where people are earning and getting dividends off the back of incarcerated populations, you need these vicious cycles to stay into play. So it's really sad. So my prayer is that you have an opportunity to really get into the seat of power. Because I do
Thank you.
believe that when God gives you a seat of power, it is your responsibility, it's my responsibility to do something with that power.
And
Amen.
Dr. Hood, I got
Thank
a
you.
question for the gentleman. I got a post here that it says, Kids have potential. Teachers unlock it
I
for
like
Tucson. My question is, for the disproportionate people in the communities, low development people in the community, how can they have a voice?
Yeah, absolutely. This is, we talked about this earlier. You mentioned education earlier. One of the things of a reason why we have such poor education and system that leads to that is the mental health crisis that is going on right now. Across the board, when we spoke earlier about this, there was a rally in the Pasquayaki tribe. We went out there. Some other politicians were speaking, and we went out into the community, and we asked the students there, what are you struggling with the most? What are the top 3 concerns you have in the TUSD district and that you have going forward, whether they just graduated or whether they had just they're still continuing in the district? They said mental health was top 3, and their concerns was mental health. And that's sad because these are kids, these are babies. I can imagine when they're an adult, if this mental health, if this crisis, whatever trauma they have gone through is not taken care of, what that will develop into later in life. And these were teenagers, and they said mental health was on their top 3 concerns. So when I was in TUSD's race last year, one of the things we wanted to implement was having chaplains where they can have the freedom, students, if they wanted to, if they're going through a breakup or they're going through trauma at home, not having a father, something, they can have the freedom and the access and the freedom to go talk to a chaplain, a volunteer chaplain, and whether it's inside the district, if they won't allow it, at least close by to the district, so that they could be able to have that access. And because we have chaplains everywhere, we have them in the hospitals, we have them in the military, we have them in prisons. Why not in schools? And I really think Jesus is the answer. He's the answer, and this is why I mentioned if people want to talk to a chaplain, they can be able to have that freedom and access to it. And I think we should do things like, for example, Gospel Rescue Mission is doing, and that's why I say, if as long as you have breath in you, there's hope. There's always hope. There's salvation to the uttermost in every situation.
So, as far as process, you got in. I know when we're talking about state legislature in the Maricopa County area where it's really Republican, conservative dominant, as you running as Democrat?
Well, I grew up a Democrat. Most of my life I've been a Democrat.
Okay.
One of the things I tell people is, once they started saying that men could get pregnant and things like that, it kind of left me a little bit. So I tell people I never left the party. They left me,
Yeah.
But I'm running, as independent mind. It shouldn't be about party. To me, it's about righteousness. It shouldn't be about politics. It should be about righteousness and things that are right for our community. People shouldn't be struggling the way they are and not having a politician.
Where I was going with it was, I'll be honest right now, I really don't care what your party is. I want somebody to do something.
Exactly. Yeah. A party is just a vehicle. Yeah. A party is just
it's funny, when I asked him, he went from Democrat to Republican, and I asked him, why didn't you go to an independent? He says, because independents don't win.
Right?
That's true.
I mean, that's right,
that's
because
true.
the vote always gets split. The independent, who probably has the best heart in the race,
they
don't win.
Yeah,
right.
You got to find yourself to align with either or.
Exactly.
But the reason why I brought it up was where I was trying to get to was, despite whether an R or a D or I is behind your name, how do we build coalition to get votes to get things done?
Yeah.
Right. And this is where it shouldn't be about party. Party is just a vehicle. It should be about the person who has person with character and their policy. That's what it should be about, to be able to help our community. And I really think we should be able to people should have that that freedom to research the representatives, people that seek to represent their district. You can find information on me on my website, estebanflores4az.com, and you could be able to compare and have the freedom to compare between my opponent, myself, and to do the research. I have it all there on the front page. That way people can be able to do their own homework. But I really think it starts with the education and bringing to light, you are what your record is. You are what your record is. And I mentioned, trees known by its fruit. The ultimate fruit is how are the people doing? And that's the ultimate fruit of any politician. How are your people doing? Are they winning? And when I look around town, I look around our district, the high poverty rate, I don't see a lot of winning. I see a lot of people struggling, and I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it, and a lot of people have as well. We saw Prop 414 didn't pass. It was the biggest no we ever sent to our county and to the city, because now is not a time to be increasing taxes. People already got enough burdens right now. We are all in agreement on that. We need to be able to have a change, pass policy that's going to, cap inflation, things like that. We've had the highest number of inflation, record high in the last 40 years. It's insane what's going on. So I want to seek to address the economic situation that we have going on, and to give so that everybody can have a chance. Everybody can see their families thrive and create a better future for generations to come for them.
Well, thank you. And in regards to our mission, as far as impacting, justice impacted individuals, that's our mission. And when we work with politicians and civic leaders, I like to make sure that they're in alignment with what we're doing. So I guess I'm going to ask you a question. If you are blessed to get in office and hold one of the Senate seats, what is your commitment going to be on your first 100 days in regards to helping justice impacted people? Because right now in Arizona, we got over 100,000 that can't vote.
Can't vote.
Right.
So they're constantly following them. Very discouraging. And I know we only got a small amount of time for an answer, but what are your thoughts on that?
I've written letters to courts, to judges on people who were ex-felons, people on the verge of being deported, who have turned their lives around, and we've gotten some to change their minds on the situation, because there's a lot of good people. Some I know that are pastors, they're pastors. They're good people who are contributing to our community. And if you are doing well, you are serving your community, you are improving it, you shouldn't be penalized for that. And so I think we should take a second look at that to be able to make a difference, because like I said, as long as you have breath, there's hope. There is always a redemption process that our God always has, and everybody's made in His image. Everybody's made in His image, and I mentioned earlier about the gentleman that we served in the Gospel Rescue Mission. They turned their lives around and they want to make a difference in their community. As a state legislature, we shouldn't make it more challenging for that. We should make it much more attainable for them. And so, we should look at making some changes in terms of that.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for coming to the show, and we're looking forward, and our prayers are with you, support is with you, that you can get this opportunity to not just campaign, but to be able to govern in your seat. So thank you so kindly for coming. All right, we're less than under a minute. Tom, give us our highlights.
Okay,
updates.
what do we got coming? We got the special election on 7/15. On Wednesday, 7/23, rally for reentry from 10 a.m. to 12 at Pima Community College at the Amethyst Room. August 7th at the TCC from 1 to 4 p.m. is going to be the Second Chance event. So come on, get out there, and don't forget our events. Get on the website and help us out so we can move forward this year, and we can move lives forward in a way that they can move forward knowing that their rights are going to be restored, knowing nobody's looking into their background, knowing that they're going to be able to spend time with their kids and their family,
yes, sir. Yes,
because all of those things are covered, because that's what Fresh Start. We give people a new day.